Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm an agile coach, facilitator, whatever we call it. Today I will share my top 3 facilitation fails, or at least the ones I can remember. I'll get back to the last part in a second. If you like these videos, please consider to subscribe and share with your network. That would be awesome, at least for me. Okay, so I truly believe that a lot of great learning comes from things that doesn't go right, and we need to be much better at talking about these openly. So that's also why I will share some of my failures that I can remember, and maybe or even my top 3. So let's dive into it. The first one is this one, walking out. So I was facilitating a session for some quite senior engineers, and it was a session where I was playing around with different not that commonly used liberating structures. And we knew that we were going to do some open space later in the session, so we had introduced also the law of 2 feet, that if you feel that you're not adding value, then use your 2 feet and go somewhere else. We were then approaching an exercise called back-to-back listening in our agenda, and we simply had one of the participants walking out. That was not something that participant wanted to be a part of whatsoever. Nope. So that participant walked out, and me and the co-facilitator looked at each other, and the co-facilitator then went to figure out, was there something going on? Did we say something wrong? But it just turned out that law of 2 feet, it wasn't for that participant. So that participant decided it was better to walk out. And I fully understand that, but it was also a bit weird for me as a facilitator. And it definitely got me to think this: you cannot please everyone. Sometimes some exercises will just appeal to some, sometimes it won't. And especially with some of the more out there activities like back-to-back listening. That's for a specific type of people, and maybe for that crowd that day that was not the right exercise, or I just didn't stage set it well enough why we were doing it. And there was maybe also some part of alignment that was missing from that session. So what is it that they wanted to get out from the session, and how could I prepare them so we were aligned on what was going to happen? Next up is where I missed the mark a lot. So I was hired to do a workshop for another team, for a company, and they had a specific theme, and I wholeheartedly thought that I knew what that should be, and I had a pretty clear idea how we should do this and how we could facilitate some sharing, and in the end the feedback I got was that was not the workshop they had been looking for. It was a good workshop, but not what they had looked for and not what they needed. And it made me reflect that I failed in that instance to leave my ego at the door. I was too full with my own view of how this could be facilitated, how I should do this to help them. But nope, I definitely missed the mark. They were asking for more concrete tools, and I was instead leading them through a lot of discussions and reflections and whatnot. And sometimes teaching is just the right thing to do. I have a tendency or preference to go towards facilitation, not necessarily teaching. And that's one of the downsides when I facilitate stuff, right? I'm not that prone to stepping into the teaching stance, and sometimes that is the right stance, and I need to be much more aware of that. And it also led me to think maybe, or not maybe, there was definitely some alignment again that was missing. So how is it that I can become better at aligning what was it actually they wanted from this? And making sure that I left my ego at the door. The third one is some dots and a question mark, because I have made a lot of fails when I facilitate workshops. Maybe jokes that didn't land well, or small comments or exercises that just fell flat. But here I would really like to quote the awesome coach Lasso, Ted Lasso: be a goldfish. I've also made a video on put button. So we need to just say, oh well, I honestly did my best shot. Maybe I can take some learnings from this and then move on. So that's also, I don't collect these fails per se, but I run into them from time to time, but I try to then move on from them. So if an exercise doesn't work out, I will try again, try with a different angle until I get it right, or to get it where I really want. It has to fail spectacular before I say, okay, I'll never do this again. But so far, I've not had that. I've had people walking out. I've missed the mark a lot, and I don't think I'll ever get an invitation for those people again. But that's how it is. I need to keep on refining my skills so I can hopefully get better and give better experiences to other people. And I'm hoping that some of you will also share, what were your fails in facilitation? How did you move on from it? What did you take away of learnings from that? Because I truly believe that there is so much we can gain from that, and also sharing with each other as a community. That's it. If you have comments, questions, ideas, or feedback to my videos, please leave a comment or send me a message. That would be awesome. And as always, have an awesome day.